Hi friends, today we are visiting Taxila Museum, Pakistan from Islamabad. Welcome to MNC HD TV. Please subscribe, share and like to get more videos on Pakistan tourism. We have started our journey from Islamabad Expressway. From zero point we have taken turn on Kashmir Highway, and from Kashmir Highway now we are turning towards GT Road to reach Texla. Texla is 35 kilometers from Islamabad. From GT Road we have taken turn towards Taxila Museum. Taxila is one of the most famous archaeological sites in the world. For some times it has been the center of Buddhism, the world famous Ghandhara sculpture, and the center of learning and culture. The construction of Taxila was done during the period of Sir John Marshall. Taxila Museum is home to a significant and comprehensive collection of Gandharan art dating from the 1st to 7th century CE. Construction of Taxila Museum started in 1918. There are some 4,000 objects displayed including stone, stucco, terracotta, silver, gold, iron and semi-precious stones. Museum has one of the most significant and comprehensive collection of stone Buddhist sculptures from the 1st to the 7th centuries in Pakistan, known as Ghandhara Art. Museum comprises 6 sections with rich archaeological finds of Texila, arranged in chronological order and properly labeled. It is one of the best and well-maintained site museums of Pakistan. Others present scenes from the life of the Buddha. Sculptures have been brought from Muradan and from Julian Monastery. Budha was born in the 6th century BC or possibly as early as 624 BC. Name was Siddhartha Gautama. He lived and taught in the region around the border of modern-day Nepal and India, sometimes between the 6th to 4th century BC. He born in Lumbini in present-day Nepal. Gautama grew up as a son of a ruler of Shakya's clan. His mother died 7 days after giving birth. A holy man, however, prophesied great things for the young Siddhartha. He would either be a great king or military leader, or he would be a great spiritual leader. To protect his son from the miseries and sufferings of the world, Siddhartha's father raised him in opulence in a palace built just for the boy and sheltered him from the knowledge of religion, human hardship, and the outside world. Buddha married at the age of 16 and had a son soon thereafter, but Siddhartha's life of worldly seclusion continued for another 13 years. The prince reached adulthood with little experience of the world outside the palace walls, but one day he ventured out. At the age of 29, Buddha left his kingdom, his wife, and his son to follow a more spiritual path, determined to find a way to relieve the universal suffering that he now understood to be one of the defining traits of humanity. For the next 6 years, Siddhartha lived an ascetic life, studying and meditating using the words of various religious teachers as his guide. He practiced his new way of life with a group of 5 ascetics, and his dedication to his quest was so stunning that the 5 ascetics became Siddhartha's followers. When answers to his questions did not appear, he redoubled his efforts, enduring pain, fasting nearly to starvation, and refusing water. Whatever he tried, Siddhartha could not reach the level of insight he sought until one day when a young girl offered him a bowl of rice. As he accepted it, he suddenly realized that corporeal austerity was not the means to achieve inner liberation, and that the living under harsh physical constraint was not helping him achieve spiritual release. So he had his rice, drank water, and bathed in the river. The 5 ascetics decided that Siddhartha had given up the ascetic life and would now follow the ways of the flesh, and they promptly left him. That night, Siddhartha sat alone under the Bodhi tree, vowing to not get up until the truth he sought came to him, and he meditated until the sun came up the next day. He remained there for several days, purifying his mind, seeing his entire life and previous lives in the thoughts. During this time, he had to overcome the threats of Mara, an evil demon, who challenged his right to become the Buddha. When Mara attempted to claim the enlightened state as his own, Siddhartha touched his hand to the ground and asked the earth to bear witness to his enlightenment, banishing Mara. As soon a picture began to form in his mind of all that occurred in the universe, and Siddhartha finally saw the answer to the questions of suffering that he had been seeking for so many years. In that moment of pure enlightenment, Siddhartha Gautama became the Buddha. The 5 ascetics who have left him became his first disciples and formed the foundation of the Sangha community of monks. Women were admitted to the Sangha, and all barriers of class, race, sex, and previous background were ignored, with only the desire to reach enlightenment through the banishment of suffering and spiritual emptiness. Buddha died around the age of 80, possibly of an illness from eating spoiled meat or other food. Buddha is one of the most influential figures in world history, and his teachings have affected everything from a variety of other faiths, literature to philosophy, both within India and to the farthest reaches of the world. Buddha's teachings serve as the foundation of the Buddhist religion. Texila is the abode of many splendid Buddhist establishments. Texila, the main center of Gandhara, is over 3000 years old. Texila had attracted Alexander the Great from Macedonia in 326 BC, with whom the influence of Greek culture came to this part of the world. Taxila later came under the Mauryan dynasty and reached a remarkable matured level of development under the great Ashoka. During the year 2 BC, Buddhism was adopted as the state religion, which flourished and prevailed for over 1000 years until the year 10 AD. During this time, Texila, Sawat, and Charsada became three important centers of culture, trade, and learning. Hundreds of monasteries and stupas were built together with Greek and Kushan towns such as Sarkar and Sarsuk, both in Taxila. The Gandhara civilization was not only the center of spiritual influence but also the cradle of the world famous Gandhara culture, art, and learning. It was from these centers that a unique art of sculpture originated, which is known as Gandhara art. Today, the Gandhara sculptures occupy a prominent place in the museums of England, France, Germany, USA, Japan, Korea, China, India, and Afghanistan, together with many private collections world over, as well as a vast collection in the museums of Pakistan. The earliest Buddhist art are not iconic but aniconic images and were popular in the subcontinent even after the death of the Buddha. This is because the Buddha himself did not sanction personal worship or the making of images. Siddhartha Gautama was a Buddha, a self perfected, self enlightened human being. He was a human role model to be followed but not idealized. Of himself, he said, Buddhas only point the way. This is why the earliest artistic tributes to the Buddha were abstract symbols indicative of major events and achievements in his last life. Among the aniconic images, the footprints of the Buddha were found in the Sawat Valley and now can be seen in the Sawat Museum. When Buddha passed away, his relics were distributed to seven kings who built stupas over them for veneration. The Emperor Ashoka was later said to have dug them out and distributed the ashes over a wider area and built 84,000 stupas. With the stupas in place to dedicate veneration, disciples then initiated coins of local kings with the proliferation of Buddhist made of silver and gold. Stupa puja evolved into a ritual act. Harma Rajika Stupa. These are the jewelry of Gandhara times, and there is a statue of a lady who is said to be a dancer and was murdered. In the museum, we can see silver glasses of different shapes, bowls, and spoons. The theory of that time was to absorb the earthquake shocks with small stones inside. Thank you watching MNC HD TV. Please subscribe, like and share to get more videos on Pakistan tourism. Pakistan Zindabad.